Welcome to the Orville Review, episode 7 of season 3, New Horizons. Here we go, Shane. We open up in the serene, beautiful landscape of Kaylon Prime, circa before the biologicals were all murdered.
Right, and we don't really know this in the beginning when we start the film, when we start watching the episode. I say film because it feels like a movie, and trust me, it's almost at the 90-minute or 88-minute minimum required to be called a movie. So it's 72 minutes. So it felt like a movie the whole way. I did not know this was Kaylon Prime. I actually come in with my first upvote because I thought these aliens look really cool. Actually, all the aliens in this episode that we've never seen before look very cool.
Yes, I'm also going to give it an upvote. So right now, folks, we are giving an upvote for how cool the aliens look. If you don't like it, give it a downvote.
And my thought here was, you know, when we get this Kaylon delivered, my thought was, ooh, they're expanding. My first thought was they're expanding throughout the galaxy, right? And this is the way they're going to take over. That's kind of the way I was thinking, right, initially. And then as the episode goes on, you learn the truth.
I don't know why, but I thought, Bortus was going to be in the cage. You know? I don't know why I thought that. I had this, weird idea that it was going to be Bortus in the cage. Yes, but the second I saw the Kaylon, I realized that we were finally seeing the Kaylon Prime, you know?
Yeah, once you realize that. And so, you know, taking a look at these aliens, they look relatively harmless, but they end up becoming pretty nefarious.
Nefarious. Okay, moving on from that. So what happens is they are trying to meet new people, and I'm going to get into this right now. But the point of this episode, the plot and subplot, is they are trying to, now that they have no friends with the Krill, and they're you know, they need more allies. They're looking for more allies, and there's a lot of comedy here because the allies that they are bringing in are sort of hyper. They're like warrior chicks or whatever, and they're they really don't like men, and it was
they're called the Genesi.
The Genesi.
Yeah.
I put it in the preview of today's show because I loved that moment where Bortus was like, they are awful.
I know. Some of my favorite sci-fi has always been these female dominated societies. Like in Sliders had a really great episode of where women totally dominated the society, right? And how that, you know, especially back when Sliders was done, that was definitely cutting edge stuff. A little more realistic now, I guess, but yeah, it was a good sci-fi trope for them to tackle this week.
And we're gonna get to some other really good stuff. You know, this episode had a lot of comedy, and we haven't seen that. Honestly, in the first 6 episodes, we didn't see a whole lot of comedy, so we're seeing a lot. This whole episode had a lot of laugh out loud moments for me.
I will say though that it was also a muted comedy. So the difference between the comedy we've had in the past and the comedy we're getting this year is it's a little bit more passive instead of active. There's small bits, small moments. There's not full bits of comedy. Even though this is a comedic moment, it's also crossed by something that's kind of serious.
Right.
And I think the whole season is kind of like that.
Yeah, and this is the C plot. Thank you, Mango, for that. So there's basically 3 plots going. The C plot is the relationship between Lamar and Talla. And it starts with them basically getting down and dirty, getting rough and tumble in the sheets, and then you hear a loud crack. And Lamar,
there's a D plot in this as well.
Oh, is there? All right, we got what's the D plot?
D plot is Dr. Claire and Isaac.
Oh, you know what? That's actually the part of the show that I wasn't interested in. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't remember it because when we get to that point, it's going to be a downvote for me.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, I feel like we're being hit over the head with their relationship. But we'll get there. All right, so this whole thing was great. Talla's so strong, man. Her species grew up on a planet with 100 times the gravity as ours. So when she's in normal Earth gravity, she's basically like Superman, and she just can't control her strength. So when she's doing the vertical mamba, you know, she tends to accidentally injure Lamar. And Lamar's like, yo, man, it's so good. I'm willing to keep getting injured.
Yeah, more to have broken bones over it. That it must be really good in order to lose the.
She must be just phenomenal.
It would take about one broken bone for me, and I'd be done.
I don't know. I'd probably deal with a couple of broken bones. All right, so because of that, I am giving this an upvote because I like how they started on this plot, and it wasn't just a throwaway thing where it's like, hey, funny joke, you know, he gets hurt. They actually continue this plot throughout the entire episode, and the way it ends is brilliant. So I'm giving this an upvote. Let us know what you guys think. Upvote or downvote for the C plot?
It gets an upvote for me, but I really gave it at the end. So, and I kind of wanted to save my. I'll give my comment then, but I did get an upvote for the plot.
Yeah, the end. We're gonna get there, but the end is.
The end is the classic.
That camera pan out is brilliant.
That zoom
we're gonna get there. You're stepping on you're stepping on me right now, but we're gonna get there.
Well, that's where my upvote was, and you did the upvote now.
So I'm upvoting the plot. That's a whole other moment to upvote.
No, not for me. I think it's all attached.
Oh, okay. I mean, all right.
But you can give it 2 upvotes if you want.
Because it's a good payoff. That's what I'm saying. Anyways. All right, so Lamar's got to, go to the dog.
He's working out. His simulation is just too hard.
Yeah, he keeps telling her that he's working out too hard. So good. He's getting beat up by Talla. Like, what do they do? Okay. All right.
You don't know. It's all wild under the sheets, man.
All right, Dr. Claire is going to dinner with Isaac. Another moment with this. I'm not going to give it a downvote per se, because I like their interactions. I like Isaac and Claire. But, I got to ask, at what point does Claire just sort of accept that Isaac is like this unfeeling thing? Because she seems to be always confused.
That's ironic you said that. Because this is the episode that it happens. So
how much longer? But she still doesn't really accept it, though.
No, she did. At the end, she totally did. And I got to give this an upvote because more Mark, less Isaac is what I want. And we get a Mark sighting again here. And I love that they brought him back again.
Okay, that's fair. All right, I'll get an upvote because we get more Mark Jackson.
More Mark.
That's true.
But you're right. I'm kind of tired of him going to dinner. Yeah. Listen, there's a different way to date. Go to a movie or something. They are always at dinner, like over the last 2 seasons. I'm ready for a different setting for them to discuss.
Yeah, it's getting a little tired. Oh, we got a downvote from Atheist. Ooh, wee. Boy, ooh, wee.
Wait, is he downvoting Mark, or what's he downvoting? You got to know.
Yeah. I wonder what you meant downvoting. Let us know. Oh, that maybe worked the first 3 times. Yeah. They're still going. Yeah, they're still going to the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurants is getting old.
Although he had a funny joke here. I'm not going to downvote or upvote it when he's like, "You look so good, I can eat you."
Yeah, that was good.
Or whatever. Good stuff. Okay, now this is when they introduced the mission, and the mission is to they're gonna fake out this new species for a while because they are extremely sexist toward the males, and they're gonna show the ship basically being ran by the females, and they'll ease them in. That part didn't make any sense to me. Like, so when you finally get to the table to negotiate, you're like, by the way, we've been lying to you this whole time. Because they kept saying we're going to ease them into it.
Well, yeah. You already went way deep into it. Okay. So, yeah, can we at least show the Genesi before we start talking about it?
Oh, okay. So they're staunchly matriarchal. I can't say the word. Matriarchal? Call?
Matriarchal.
Matriarchal culture. And here they are. The Genesi.
There we go. Now we can see them. That's cool. It's a different. I mean, they really do make the aliens look very different on this show, which I love. That they really go out of their way to give everybody kind of a different look.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't going forward. I was literally talking about that scene, like their plan.
I know, but I wanted to see him before we were going to discuss all that because you also went forward into like what ends up happening and everything.
What happened was their plan, but I thought it was a bad plan. Like Archmage Frey said, we're going to basically fake them out, and then when we get to the table, we'll ease them into. That's the plan they discussed in that meeting. I didn't actually talk about what.
No, you said later on that they lied to them. Oh, so anyways, you told the future, which is fine.
But that's what they said they were going to do in that meeting. They literally said.
Right, but then you said later on they end up telling him the truth. So
no, but that was their plan. They said in that meeting they said that when they get them to the meeting table, they'll ease into the idea that the men are actually equal.
Right. I don't think it was the meeting table, but down the road somewhere they said,
This is a bad plan. They do look
awesome. So I did downvote this because walking into the situation, lying to a civilization, it would have been a more, I know why they did it. They did it because it was funny and they wanted the laughs of like Ed and Gordon being treated like chimps there. So I got that. Like they wanted to do those funny bits to have that moment. But it would have been a harder show if they would have actually told the truth and then kind of found a way to forge this weird alliance by telling the truth of the whole thing. But you don't get the comedic, adjustment. You don't get the change of pace. So, the lying was a downvote for me.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I already downvoted it because I thought the plan was bad, which is I guess that's also the line. Just didn't make it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, but we did get some good comedy out of the bad plan. Then
like this was great. They bump into each other. They look like a couple of guys with their wives at the mall. Yeah. Captain Ed actually trips here going out. It was good.
Yeah. All right, so this moment was good too. When what if they come to the bridge and they basically tell Bortus like, you should probably
leave. Yeah. Although I didn't like the look that Charlie gave Ed at the chair. Charlie, this is a pivotal episode for her. But if you go back to the part where she basically she says the plan, like, hey, you should get that look right there. That she's looking at her captain and basically. There ain't nobody around for her to act like a bitch.
Yeah, this is actually Charlie, the real actress, Ann Winters. She's looking at Seth MacFarlane because they're arguing.
They're looking at her boyfriend here. Yeah, this was it does disjustice to this character because the fans are already like, ready to burn her at the stake. The more of these types of interactions where she has no respect for authority is just makes it worse for her. So,
yeah, this character is Charlie Burke is. I hate to be the guy that says it. I guess I don't think it's a good character. I think it's a little one-dimensional. They tried to give her like a tragic backstory, but it just felt sort of empty to me. And we will get to the part where she gets like a little bit of a redemption or some kind of change of mind, but it just feels this character feels forced. Like she's like really smart and she can see in multiple dimensions, yet she's also constantly angry. I don't know. It just feels like sort of a forced shallow character, and they've given her like these super abilities that they've actually used a couple times now. And I don't think I like the character.
Well, and I would argue they didn't need her. Why did they add her in season 3? Why was she added?
It's a great question, Mr. MacFarlane.
I mean, I think she was added because I don't want to say anything. Seth likes to put his girlfriends on TV. There's been a lot of famous people. Clint Eastwood is one of them. He put his women on TV. There's nothing wrong with that, but there was just no purpose for the character other than to be the person who hates Isaac on the ship.
Yeah, I mean, Atheist is right. She is extraordinarily attractive. So I guess that's one reason.
Well, surprise. You know, what do you think Seth's going to put his ugly girlfriend on TV? I don't think so.
We get more backstory with the Kaylon. I really like the way they did this because they painted like this like peaceful sort of suburban, society. And so the whole time in your mind, like you've already bought into the fact that the Kaylon are just evil, right? And
yes,
they sort of flipped that script, and I like the way they did that. I like this whole like the architecture's different. A lot. There's not a single sharp line in this entire scene in the entire house. Yeah. When you are looking at this house, it's like someone said, "Give me a room and a house and a roof and a doorway and no right angles," because there isn't a single right angle. It's just smooth. Look at this.
Yeah, you're right.
Really cool architecture, really cool aliens, and
set design is fantastic here. In fact, I've got an upvote for set design, graphics, all of the off ship stuff that they do in this episode is really, really good.
Right.
So hit me for that upvote if you would.
I just gave it to you.
Okay.
Listen, everyone, if you are fresh on the stream, we are in the middle of a giveaway. We're giving away a Star Trek Blu-ray, the motion picture Blu-ray. And all you got to do is hit exclamation point and raffle. It's real simple. Type exclamation point raffle in the chat, and the system will log you into the raffle. It's completely free.
And then after the review is over, we're going to give it away.
Yes, after the review is over here, we're going to pick a winner from this raffle and then start another one. So just make sure to put your raffle your raffle message in there. It's pretty simple. Okay. All right, so this is when we first got like a little hint of Kaylon becoming sentient. And
yeah, K1 there is
K1
asking some questions.
K1, yeah.
K1.
As you wish. It's really good. Real good. Okay, now they are investigating this underground anomaly, and this
crew of ensigns.
I guess this was sort of like another plot. Like there was actually multiple plots going on here.
Well, I kind of considered this part of the B plot with the Kaylon backstory.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
All great. Look at all the graphics, though. They had to make all this stuff.
Yeah, this is excellent. This is all fresh, new sets. Oh no, it's a Kaylon! Everybody run!
Watch out! Run!
I promised you, I have no intention of causing trouble.
Even the Gorn are worse than the Kaylon, dude.
Oh.
Gorn, you can take out a Kaylon, but you can't take out a Gorn.
The Gorn. Sorry, the Gorn. You and the Gorn.
That's funny. I just had a thing pop up that said Star Trek. Well, that's bad. The timing.
Have we seen this alien species before? With the
head? Cat alien? We've never seen him.
Is it a cat? No, it's not a cat. It looks like some kind
of... I mean, that's what it looked like to me.
It looks sort of like a krill almost.
I got like ears, and maybe it was her personality, maybe. I don't know.
No.
But it's different. I love that they really do fascinating different things with their aliens.
Right. Yeah.
Dr. Vilka.
Vilka.
Is this character.
Dr.
And her father was somebody apparently famous because she said, "You might know my father." And they were out there trying to, they're working on basically like deep space communication.
Mm-hmm.
When this when this Kaylon vessel apparently crashed out there, and then her and her father went to investigate, and they found this little guy, Timus. Timus. And they made him sentient, or they made him have feelings.
Hello, I am Timus.
But Timus can feel. He loves and he hates.
So they repaired him. Before they repaired him, they pulled out the weapons out of his head. And they go, "Oh, we're going to repair them." And in the process of repairing him, they upgrade him so that he would include feelings. So he could feel feelings. Good stuff.
Yeah. There's so they explained it, I thought, really well. Like there's like this chemistry, or there's some sort of chemistry that goes along with the Kaylon body that is almost like a brain chemistry for us.
Right.
That I thought was interesting. We don't know a lot about the internal workings of a Kaylon, and that was kind of a little picture into it.
Right. Listen, guys, if you guys are just getting here, make sure you hit, and you want to be a part of the raffle that ends at the end of the episode. Exclamation point raffle in the chat. We'll add you to the raffle. It's completely free.
John, you just nailed it. She looks like a Thundercat. That was it, man. I'm like, I knew there was something there. Thundercats, oh!
Yeah, she does look like a Thundercat.
Yep.
Cool.
I knew there was a reason I was getting that.
Thundercats. I remember that. I think. What was it? There was the Thundercats. There was two of the big robots when we were kids, right? Thundercats. And
it was Voltron, and then Thundercats came after that. Thundercats was actually the last cartoon I watched.
Voltron. That's right. I remember.
Yeah,
and listen, zero. I'm not disparaging Thundercats here, but I remember I wanted a Voltron robot.
Yes, you got one.
And yes, but initially, I had an aunt that didn't know any better and got me Thundercats, and I was so pissed.
I bought you Voltron.
Did you buy me Voltron?
I bought you Voltron.
My man, I wanted Voltron so bad, and someone got me like a Thundercats thing, and it was like, at the time, for me, the Thundercats was like, not as good, not remotely as cool as Voltron.
Yeah, I got you Voltron because I knew. Hey, listen, we got to call out somebody right now. The Dork Knight did his raffle, but he only got one ticket.
Yeah, I think he's a subscriber. I think the system's broken.
Is it the system messed up? Okay, Danny, if you're not subscribed, man, that's why you didn't get more than one ticket.
You are subscribed, right, Dork? I'm assuming you are.
He's not. We're going to flay you right now.
If you're not subscribed, subscribe and you get 3 tickets instead of 1.
I think you get 4. We got 4.
Or 4. My bad. So if that doesn't work, then we gotta fix that.
We gotta figure it out.
Yeah. Or turn off like the added, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So that's what happened. Her and her father, when they fixed him, they upgraded him, and now he can feel emotion, and he talks like this: "Hello, my name is Timus." Did I do that good?
Yes.
Did I do that good? Hello.
I am really sorry that we killed or tried to kill your entire
race. My name
is
Timus. I deeply regret trying to kill all biological life forms. Just like you, my Mocklin friend. What was that?
Dork Knight's calling you out. He said, even though you said you'd gift me one. He entered the raffle, but he said you were supposed to give him one anyways.
Give him one what?
Star Trek the Motion Picture.
I don't recall that, but I have a bunch, so if you want one, it's all yours, Danny.
Oh, yeah. No, you got to earn the raffle now, Danny, just because you called it out like
you got to earn it, bro.
Earn it by
so it obviously doesn't work because Atheist for the Cause is definitely a subscriber, and I don't think he got the 4. Well, whatever.
That's a bunch of garbage.
So it ain't working. My bad. I'll fix that.
In our hearts,
at least everyone's getting the 1, so I guess that's good enough.
Listen, in our hearts, you got more than 1 ticket if you're a subscriber.
Oh, he's talking about the membership. Yeah, we can't gift memberships yet. They won't let us. It's not my fault.
We're working on it, though, guys.
Yeah, we're trying. So the whole membership gifting thing is not like not everyone gets the ability to do that right away. You have to actually wait for YouTube to roll it out to your channel first.
Yeah, it's weird. Not everybody gets them at the same time.
Right.
So there's what's weird. I got another weird Ed moment here.
Okay.
Like Ed is just completely missing any empathy. And I know that that the Orville Nation has this theory going where there's an alternate timeline, but they completely wreck that this episode. They completely wreck the alternate timeline theory because we learned that Ed and Kelly still did get married. They still had all the same things. She cheated on him, the whole stuff that happened that we thought might have been changed based on what happened at the end of season 2. So we don't have a good reason why Ed is just very unempathetic. Here he tells them, well, the union needs to know about this right away. And they're like, oh, we were about to do we were about to do it. So we'd be happy to do it now, I guess. And he's like, yeah, you will.
Yeah, you will.
A different character.
You will.
Yeah, he's a different character this year, and I don't
Calm
know.
Down, Ed.
I don't know if Seth has like so much on his plate, like writing like epic science fiction, which he did such a great job with on the show, that maybe his focus into the acting isn't as, connected, or maybe he felt like he needed his acting to match his writing. But what we've learned, what we know about Captain Ed is that what we like about him is that he's a little bit in the middle. He's not a champion, he's not Kirk, he's more like Barkley, I would say.
Yeah, maybe so I have a couple theories. So either PJ's right, Orville Nation's right, and there's something going on with time shenanigans. Or perhaps Seth MacFarlane is trying to up his dramatic game, so he's not just known as like the jokey guy. Or it's also possible that the actual actor is like so frustrated with like, what he sees the world as that it's displaying on screen.
That, I think you have all really good ideas there. It really could be any of those things.
Yeah. All right. Boom, boom, boom. So they're going to the reunion.
See you later, boys.
So first off, you know what happens here when we see Turco, we get an upvote. Gotta upvote Turco.
All right.
Always upvote the Turco. Always. I thought it was hilarious that like they're pushing all the guys out of engineering, and one of the guys is basically a giant walking penis.
And he's like, yeah, that was funny. He's like, they can't even tell. She's like, get out of here, captain's orders.
I mean, I could tell. I knew immediately that was a dude because it's a giant penis. That's what it is. Oh, you guys! Oh, Mark Jackson liked a couple of your tweets. That's awesome, man.
Nice.
Good. Didn't we interview him once, Shane?
No, we did. He did a Reddit AMA that we participated in.
Oh, yeah, that's what he did. That's right.
But we would like to have him on the show.
Yes, upvote Turco and Yaphet. Turco always gets the upvote. And you know what? New policy, Yaphet, in honor of our rest in peace, Norm MacDonald. Yaphet will always get an upvote from me. So Yaphet and Turco, automatic upvotes.
So we just need an episode that's really focused on those two characters to throw Brian's score like way off.
It'll be like 4,000.
What happened?
All right, so this is
the bedazzled aliens.
These aliens look great. I mean, they look good.
Yeah, they do.
They do. Good stuff. I like the way they handled this too. When they're like, "Hey, would you give us some of this tech?" Both Charlie and Talla really handled that appropriately.
Yeah, I thought they're very capable and yeah.
All right, so
she's the XO now, dude.
Lamar's like, yo, get over here, man. Get over here. I need to talk to you. You're not returning my calls. You're ghosting me, Talla. And Talla has been avoiding him because every time they do the sexy dance.
Whoa, you just showed it.
The sexy. Every time they get down and dirty in the sheets, she ends up breaking bones and hurting him, which is hilarious.
Kill him, dude. She don't want to kill him.
I love.
I mean, she said it. They've died. They've killed people.
Right. You know what? Archmage is a good point. Where's Dan? Where's Dan?
I don't know. No Dan this season.
Let me tell you something. The second we see Dan, okay, automatic 5 upvotes. 5 upvotes if we see Dan.
Brian's like totally gamifying our thing here.
I love Dan. It sucks that we haven't seen Dan yet. I guess the actor maybe is not. I don't know.
Everybody takes a shot if somebody says Mocklin porn on the air. Okay, here we go.
All right. Yeah. So she basically she decides to throw caution to the wind and just go for it. I guess.
There was a little bit of a lingeringness to that kiss that was like, all right, guys, time to cut. Here we go.
She's gonna kill this dude.
John just kissed the kiss of death, literally.
Yeah. I found it interesting when we're back on this flashback on the biologicals from Kaylon. It looks like they're watching TV, Like this is like their TV, but it's like a bunch of moving lights. What an interesting. I'm gonna upvote this. Not because like it was necessarily done well or whatever, right? Because like I wouldn't believe for a minute that this would replace TV in their society. But the balls that they had to attempt to change, to adapt something like television or whatever as entertainment for another, planet that would obviously grow up, would rise under different circumstances with different, socio and economical, political, like they would evolve differently, like their whole ideas and everything would evolve differently. This is an interesting concept. Like this is like their version of TV. They're all sitting on the couch watching TV. And
I would go ahead.
That's a really cool idea. I just think that like this is such an interesting concept. Have we ever seen them actually try to change the concept of television in another sci-fi?
I mean, I think in Star Wars they had like this weird symphony of lights, and this isn't that weird when you think about it because just a couple weeks ago we spent 30 minutes watching fireworks go off in the sky. So maybe it's not that strange that they sit here and watch like these beautiful things. How if you sit and watch a sunset, so I don't think it's that strange. And I'd like to upvote it as well, because I love that they just showed something different. It wasn't like alien TV or something.
Yeah. Here's my problem with what you just said. Like, I believe that fireworks are fun because they're explosives.
Well, I think fireworks are fun because they look beautiful.
But also they're explosives.
But that's not why I look at them.
Because you would just watch like a firework screensaver?
I would watch a cool light display or something like that. Yeah. I mean, if you ever go to Hong Kong and you watch their light show, I mean, there's some cool stuff. And this isn't saying that this is like TV for them. They don't sit here and binge 8 hours of this thing necessarily. Maybe it's just something that they do occasionally or something,
Okay.
I mean, it's entertainment, I would say. I just don't think it's that crazy to think that someone would sit for 30 minutes to watch something beautiful.
Okay. Well, either way, cool. Very cool idea. Thank you for trying to tackle that and not just giving us, dimensional cable or whatever.
And that also wasn't linear. That was also a globe or a ball.
Right. Another, no more. Yeah. No hard angles. Another. Yeah. Right. Interesting. Their whole society seems to be sort of based on that. Like the Krills were all about hexagons, right? Like it looks like they're taking a society and they're giving it like a general shape and they're going with that. It's cool.
Right. Although they were drinking a traditional martini there.
Right. That's true. That's a good point. All right. Now back in the future, back on the Orville, they are trying to figure out exactly what Thundercats, Thundercats scientists did to Timus that gave him emotions, and it looks like Lamar is very strucken with how brilliant it is. I hope I'm using the correct words. Yeah, and she explains it. And this is where they set up the fact that if they can do it to Timus, then they can also do it to Isaac.
Yes, very true.
And I love that. I always wondered what the difference is between the lights. Like, why does he have those amber lights and Isaac have the blue lights? And we're going to find out later on it's because they're different models.
Yes.
Which I find interesting. All right. And their interactions are really good, too. Obviously, the actor that is playing Timus is much larger in stature than Mark Jackson.
I noticed that too, yeah.
Okay.
But not a lot. I mean, but noticeably.
Not a ton.
Even the Admiral gets to take shots.
All right. Yeah.
This looks good. Maybe we'll keep it permanent.
Right, yeah.
I like Victor
Garber.
But the problem is that I just like Ted Danson so much more. I wish they would just stick to one Admiral.
Yes.
Or,
And Ted Danson is perfect for this. I have no problem with Victor Garber. I actually like him too. but I feel like he's a little too serious.
Yeah,
I feel like
he's
Ted
a better
Danson, he rides the line better.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's more believable, I think, coming from Ted.
Right. I agree. And
so basically,
Jeremy Snyder,
they're
upvote for fireworks being awesome because they blow stuff up. Yeah, that's why I like them. I don't know what Shane's talking about. Pretty lights. What are you talking about?
I just think that I don't like them because they blow up.
Okay.
I like them because they're beautiful.
Okay.
So what, did you just judge me based on why I like something? Well, let's go down your road of how you like things. Okay?
I like it when things explode.
Ensign Turco gets an extra upvote every time she shows up on the screen.
I like beauty. Okay. Just like you like the lights.
Maybe they need to blow her up so she gets 2 votes.
Oh, 3 votes right away. All right. Yeah. This shot that Victor Gerbo took it like, oh, maybe we'll make this permanent. I feel like he should have had a little more like, and he just sounded like an actual, like, it was like it sounded like a serious statement. There was no like.
It didn't sound like a joke.
If I was Ed, I'd be like,
what the heck's going on here?
Yeah. Like,
yeah. It didn't come off as a joke. I think that was the problem. You're right. There was no like sly smile or like,
right.
A little bit of a.
It was so serious, man. Maybe that's like foreshadowing so that Seth can leave the show and continue with Adriana Palicki.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right. And they go, yeah, it's the Mocklins all over again. Okay, back to Lamar and Talla, and they're getting it on in the sheets.
I thought they broke it. I thought they broke his junk here.
Yeah. So So Talla is clearly a Vulcan in the streets and a Klingon in the sheets. Because she gets down and dirty, and Lamar breaks his penis. I mean, his leg. His tibia, to be exact, right? His thigh bone.
Big bone.
Yeah, the big bone. Not that big bone. I
see what you did there.
Yeah, I know. Dad joke. All right, he's got to go to sick bay because she broke his bones. And and he comes across Isaac, and Isaac, I'm going to upvote this. Its interaction was hilarious to me. It just, it was so perfect for him to run into Isaac. And
I was like, would you like me to carry you? And he's like, I ain't going in like that.
I ain't going like that, bro. Yeah, I also feel like Isaac and Lamar, like, we don't see them a lot. Like, they have a chemistry. These actors clearly have a chemistry. Every time we see them, like, they feel like really natural together. Like they've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
And he says, again, workout program. All right, so we're back to Claire and Isaac, and she wants to talk to him about his feelings. And
he doesn't have feelings.
You want to explain this part?
I mean, it's obvious that he explains basically that it's possible for him to have emotions. He kind of explains it, and of course, Claire's like, "Whoa, internally, she's like, that would be great," but she has to have a talk with Kelly before she's convinced that it's not completely selfish to ask. But here's where she learns that it's a possibility, and you can see that she would like that to happen.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense. She feels like, my thing is, if you're going to date a robot.
Just stop right there. Just stop. If you're going to date a robot. You should know that part of dating a robot is the lack of emotion. Right? Right. Well, you could know that, but you could want something else too.
So is she like in love? And how can you be in love with someone that doesn't have emotion?
I think she's in love with his personality, and obviously he does have a personality, even if he doesn't have emotions. Okay. Kind of like Data had a personality. No, and you could see. Well, there was an episode where a character fell in love with Data as well.
I just assumed she liked him because there was a vibrate feature.
Well, Dr. Claire's a little freaky. She kind of liked the whole Yaphet thing too.
She gets down, bro. She gets down. All right. All right. Let's scan past this now. All right. So back on past Kaylon. So this is the guy that invented the Kaylon, and apparently he knew the whole time that the Kaylon would gain sentience, and he just figured he would kick that can down the road and deal with it at a later time, right? You want to explain this?
Yeah, so basically the assistant there says, hey, we've gotten over 50,000 complaints from customers who said that their K1s are not listening to them or completely disobeying them. And she suggests a recall. And he says, thanks for the information, but no, I'm not going to recall it. And she says, well, what if somebody hurts one of our, what if somebody gets hurt by one of our K1s? And she said, it'll ruin the business. And he said, well, doing a recall will ruin the business. But the truth that we learn here is that he actually knew all along that these robots would become sentient. He knew it was inevitable. And so he was willing to allow that to happen. And he actually had a plan to like force them into a type of slavery, and then have a marketing plan to get other people to believe that it was okay to do, which I thought was very interesting. The whole idea of the whole thing, which I thought was really well done, was fantastic. But it did get a downvote here for me.
Right.
Same. The downvote
for me too. Go ahead.
The downvote was, he said, well, the public are idiots. Look who they elected. Right. And the reason it got a downvote isn't because in this civilization, maybe they did have a dump, maybe that's the case. But for whatever reason, Seth and the team cannot stop poking the other political party here. It's like, it seems like every episode, every couple of episodes, there's like this Donald Trump smack, and I just feel like it's unnecessary. The thing we love about, personally, I don't want Trump to be the next president either, but I still think that the thing we loved about Seth and this was that for the first 2 seasons, it was very balanced politically. Yeah. And I just feel like that's gone now.
Yeah, even though the current president is not Trump, it's the other side. But I found
he made this one before that.
Yeah, knowing when he made it, like there's so many random political jabs in the Orville. It's like, it's so odd. In the words of Atheist, it was a weird comment. It had no place. It really didn't. It was just...
It had no place. It had nothing to do with what was happening. The people are idiots because look who they voted for. Now, we're not talking about this planet's politics or what's happening or anything like that. It was just a shot at our civilization, at our culture. And that's fine. I guess if you're the creative type, you get to do that. But, we didn't like it. So... I didn't like it.
It's nonstop with the jabs. Like, okay, we get it. We know what side you play for. Like, let's get back to television.
You got it. Let's get back to sci-fi.
Right. And I like this for Extra Vision. The evil corporation guy. Yeah. There's always the evil corporation guy.
I know, right? You can cancel me because I don't love Trump. That's fine. I think if you want my personal opinion, I think Trump just talks too much.
Make Avis great again.
I'll vote for Avis. There we go. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought that episode was cringy because it was they were going for the Trump rally there. You know what I mean?
I know, man. It was just like. It's just I want to get away from politics. I'm so sick of it.
I'm so sick of it.
When I watch the Orville, I definitely don't want to be reminded of American politics.
So boring with the politics. Politics are there. Here's the problem with politics. They're all out to get you. Like
all of them.
You think you're playing for a side. Newsflash, you're not playing for a side. It's their side. And then our imaginary sides, like because they go, hey, you red people and you blue people, you need to fight each other. They want us to like argue and bicker while they're just collecting bucks and removing, freedom and widening the gap between us unsullied, right? The dirty masses and the ultra wealthy, ultra powerful. And there isn't really a fight here. Like you can go and look. Most of these people, they all pretty much felt the same way. I don't care what you have on your name. They all sort of just they maintain the status quo. And the reason why people didn't like Trump is because he didn't know that's how it worked. And he walked in there and he thought there was an actual fight. And he's like, all right, let's fight. And everyone's like, yo. We don't actually fight here. That's just
we don't actually hate each other.
Yeah, right? We don't actually hate each other. Like that's for the cameras. We're on the same side, and it's our side, and it's them versus us. Yeah. Like the second you realize that, you realize politics are stupid.
Yeah, career politics is their game. They want to stay in as long as possible.
Yeah,
but
both sides of the party have been in power for like. There's people that have been in power for like 30 to 50 years.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's been in politics for 50 years.
Jeez, 50 years. Jesus.
Yeah, no, and so is the guys, people on the conservative side. Same.
Yep.
But this is interesting. This comment here that I thought, that I downvoted. The public are idiots. Look who they elected. And of course, that's his Trump shot. But what was the alternative? Hillary Clinton. So I guess you were really smart if you voted for Hillary Clinton. I mean, I would suggest that you're probably equally an idiot.
Look who they elected.
So it's like, look who they elected. So
I am smart man. I will invent a robot that will kill us all.
Well, maybe this is. Oh, maybe we got this wrong. Maybe this is Trump, right?
Oh! They should have.
They elected as Biden.
Yeah, they should have gave him. They should have gave him like blonde hair.
Because this character. Now think about it. This might be right because this character, and in this case, okay, so this character is obviously the bad guy.
He's the bad guy,
right? So I don't know. Who knows what the joke is?
But then they would have to admit. They'd have to be like, yeah, he's the bad guy. He's the Trump surrogate, but he's also a genius. Like, wait a minute, wait, pull that back a little bit.
Right, we should get off politics because it's starting to get too serious.
But fractured business is right. Like, let's stop talking about. Let's not constantly inject modern, fake politics into everything we watch on TV, please.
100% agree.
Non-stop. Oh, this I'm sorry, my mic just peaked right now. I apologize, guys. This little thing right here, right? Yeah. So I have one of those.
You do?
Yeah. These have been around since the 80s. These aren't like.
Oh.
These are like the faux holograms. And what they are,
I thought you said one of those, but not specifically that one.
Right, not this exact one, but like I've had these for years. They've been around since I was a kid, and basically they're like laser etched, and they look like 3D because you can move them around. They usually light them up from the bottom.
Sure.
So now I want an Isaac version of this.
Oh,
now I want one for my back.
All right.
All right, moving on. All right, so now they're gonna go to They're gonna have a dinner with the, what do they call it? The Jacini? I forgot.
The Genesi.
Genesi. I like to call them the Kardashians of space.
Well, they do.
I want you to know I actually waited for you to drink something before I can say that. Yeah.
Thank you, because the Kardashians, they are like really mean to their men. So.
Yeah. Well, what you guys don't know, a little side note here. The Kardashians are actually aliens from another planet. They've came down here and they've adopted the human form so that they're actually wearing like human skin, right? And
Explains
their entire goal, in order to live, they're like aliens. They're also like succubuses, like they don't eat food. They need to suck the souls out of people in order to live. And so they find people that have like, big egos and big ideas, like, Bruce Jenner and Kanye West. And they slowly suck the life out of them until they become one of them.
Got it. Makes sense. Explains a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah. All right. So whatever it is, like, okay, you know what? I feel like another reason this is a bad idea. I know that a lot of jokes are about to happen, but if they hate men so much, maybe not have the men in the dinner.
Well, the reason why they have the men, they're trying to do what you said earlier, which was slowly like acclimate them.
All right.
But,
All right. So there's Chloe, Kim, and Courtney. Come on out and come on in. Why are there males?
One on the left looks like a baby.
Yeah, she does. It looks like a baby with armor.
Like
an armored baby.
It looks like the Ameritrade baby, all grown up.
The Kardashians are wearing skin suits. All right. So this was a really funny part. So they're asking him basically, why do you just stay in your males? And they explain that males are really angry and they start wars and they want power and they're all
pretty true
Donald Trumps or whatever. And
true.
And they're like, we need to curb. We need to take over them because our ancient history is full of like these angry, warlike, disgusting men. And I mean, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with her, but facts are facts.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. Whenever you have like the alien societies where it's like they kick the men out because they were like super warlike and too aggressive and all that, you got to ask yourself, how do they do it then?
How do they do what?
Like every time we see an alien species or,
oh, I see.
You know, some kind of society where they're like, we had to kick the men out because they were, you know, too warlike and aggressive and power hungry. You're like, so you're saying like they were better at war, but
they never show that.
No, they never show the part.
How. It just kind of exists because it would be probably pretty difficult.
The fracture vision, they drain the essence out of them like in Dark Crystal. Yes. Oh my gosh. We might have a whole Kardashian video coming up, guys. I'm just saying.
I don't think so.
I love that. I like this joke too. What do you call this? You know, this is wonderful. What do you call it? It's like Chardonnay. Yeah. By the way, also, just you guys, in case you guys didn't know, Kelly is a straight slush. Like she's always just drinking wine.
That's it. I was wondering why they said that because I was looking for the man payoff because just before that they said it was Rodgers and Hammerstein, right? That did the music,
right?
And which, of course, if you know their music, it's all like you know, for plays and musicals, right? And so, by the way, which were men. And then they said the Chardonnay, and I'm like, okay, where's the man thing for that one? And there wasn't. I didn't know what the payoff was.
No.
What was the point?
No, it was just that Kelly wanted to make sure everyone knew. Again, every episode, they need to remind us that Kelly is an alcoholic.
Yes. This is my favorite here.
Yes. Wait a minute.
You will be mine. Those hands are soft. You got soft hands.
I love that moment too. That a lot of people missed it, but there's a moment right after this where Gordon's like, I'll do it.
That's my upvote. No, yeah. that's the funniest part to me.
Yeah, I'll go. Yes, that was so good.
Like, I'll go. I thought it was great.
That was great. It was subtle, but it was really funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't go onto his face or anything. You just heard his voice.
I'll go. Yeah. You have soft hands. I'll take this one.
She did a great job here, dude. I want to upvote this alien's acting. She told me on I was terrified of her.
I love how she was so confused. Well, what do you mean? It's not for you. Don't mate with him. No one has claim to him, so I will claim him. That's not how it works.
It was great.
What do you mean? That is not how it works. No one claims him, so I will claim him. I loved it.
Right? Yeah. That was such a great way to just show an alien civilization. It just you're not going to understand each other's motives. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and it wasn't like she was. It wasn't like she was breaking society norms. Like that's how they work, right? Yeah. No one has claim to him, so I will claim him. That's mine now.
Yeah, and then Claire finally burst the bubble.
Well, of course, and that's ridiculous to Claire because she comes from human norms where that's ridiculous.
Right.
But funny. You should take no one against her will, unless it's.
And many of us won't mind.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if she was like, he will attend me, I'm like, sorry, babe, I'm attending the hot alien chick that looks like a baby.
I don't have any choice. She didn't give me a choice in the matter.
Yeah, no choice, babe. Sorry. Good luck. And that's when the jig is up. He's actually the captain. How dare you?
You want to explain this part? To us. Well, yeah. I mean, they lied to him. They get mad, and Kelly basically is like, "Yeah, we did." Blah blah blah. And everything was right. And I actually end up upvoting this moment because I was afraid that they were going to go the entire episode just kind of trying to trick them. So they do get their comeuppance, and they actually gets found out, hey, the truth comes out, and she's like, look, you shouldn't have lied to us to what they do to cur our favor, right? And they end up leaving.
Okay. If you're just joining us, we are going to be ending a raffle pretty soon at the end of this review. In order to be part of the giveaway, you have to put in the chat exclamation point raffle. The words exclamation point raffle. I'm going to put it on screen.
I'll do it again. See if I can get more tickets.
Just in case. No, stop doing it, bro. You keep adding us. Crazy.
Let's see. Oh, I didn't get any more tickets.
Danny, you can either put upvote or +1. They both work. Because you guys kept doing it, I added upvote as one of the words too.
Nice.
All right.
Wait, does it automatically track it?
I mean,
do you have an automatic tracking system?
Yeah, it sort of works. Most of the time works. See, the problem is I have now had to add exclamation point raffle. Exclamation point upvote, plus upvote, +1, -1. Like I'm having downvote. I'm having to add words because everyone does it in their own way.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll have all the information where I can just not have to worry about it myself. But I'm not there yet.
I got to say something about Bortus here. They tried to do some like humor with Bortus, and there was a couple of moments here, like this "they are awful," and obviously it's ironic because the Mocklin are the same way.
Right.
Get it.
That's the funny part about this was when they walked out, I was thinking, wow, they're really just awful people. And he was like, they are awful. I'm like, yes, okay, all right.
But we really need, what we're missing this season so far is we're missing a really funny Bortus episode. Like seasons 1 and seasons 2, we really had some great Bortus stuff. And I don't think this season we've had really anything great Bortus. And we need some of his misunderstanding, of human stuff. We just need another episode, and we're running out of time.
Right. That's fair. We're running out of time. You're right. Yeah. The little we got of Bortus this episode was great. But I feel like you're exactly right. We're getting like little bits of Bortus. And even in the episode where there should have been a lot of Bortus, like the episode about the Tale of Two Topas, even that episode, there wasn't a whole lot of Bortus.
No, there wasn't, yeah.
There was a lot more. Yeah.
We just need more. We need, I don't know, we need more Jaloja. We need more Mocklin porn. We need more cigarettes. We need more mustaches. We need more Bortus.
Yeah, okay. Can I just take everything you said out of context? We need more Mocklin porn. We need more cigarettes. We need more mustaches. Absolutely.
Right. Can't we get an alcoholic episode of Bortus or something?
Yeah.
They can have any sort of backstory or,
What if he's drinking with Kelly and he's really into Chardonnay now?
Right. Yes. I dig that.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
All right.
All right. So Isaac decides, I'm sorry, not Isaac. Timus and Charlie have a little. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel about this? How do you feel about
this? Well, I'm glad we finally got the full story of the Kaylon. And I mean, it's appropriate that they're telling it to Charlie, who has kind of this one-sided view of the whole thing. And we get to learn that basically the Kaylon really were tortured by their creators. And so we get this moment, and this is actually an upvote for me, is they did a great job of creating sympathy for the Kaylon by using the bad guy as a perception, which good shows, good movies, good TV shows do this, where the bad guys are more than one-dimensional characters. And I think they allowed to do this, and they're going to kill two birds with one stone by also perhaps changing the perception of Charlie.
Interesting. Now, do you feel like Charlie's perception? I guess we're going to get there, but do you feel like do you think that they can actually change the perception of Charlie, or is she just sort of tainted at this time?
I mean, I think she's tainted until we get a few episodes of her not. And the problem is we're getting towards the end of the season. So this may be a little late to redeem this character, but there is a an attempt at redemption, which is a good thing. I think we needed this character was just way too toxic, and I think we've seen the end of the toxicity at the very least.
Okay, so one more question. This is for the audience too. After this whole like diatribe that Timus, hello, Ensign Charlie. After Timus went through his whole thing and explained his history, I'm not just going to scan through it because it's pretty gnarly. Like they just.
And I agree with what Mango L says here. He upvoted that Timus told her he wasn't looking for forgiveness, which I thought was important because that seems to be something that sets Charlie off all the time. It's like she feels like there's this like it's not genuine, the apology or the way they feel,
right?
But that comes through with this Timus character,
right? And I agree. I agree, John. Even if I don't like Charlie, the idea of actually humanizing the Kaylon to explain why they genocided all their biologicals was good. Great. But at any moment, were you guys expecting when she leaves the room here, was anyone else like sort of, maybe they're going to do the double cross thing where he turns around and looks at like Thundercat lady and they have like an evil smile on their face or something. Like they're like,
no, I did not.
You didn't think that it would have been like,
no, because
it's a trap. No,
it would have totally messed up everything, dude. It would have totally. I mean, it might have been cool, but it would have been such a like a mental screw with this character that I just don't think that they could have done it with somebody else, but they couldn't have done it with that character because they've been trying to do this whole story arc with her. And so they have to bring her. So if they would have done that, it would have totally set her back on her feelings about the Kaylon.
Right.
And about Isaac. But you went through that section with the kids when they're torturing the Kaylon.
Right.
And I got to tell you, kids are a-holes on other planets too, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little kids. I mean, that was just so like not cool.
They're a-holes.
Something kids would do to other kids on the playground.
Well, no. Like my kids actually do that every day to their technology.
Right. What if they knew their technology was like talking to them like normal?
Yeah. If they actually taught I wonder, did these kids know that K1 was sentient, or did they just look at him as, the Google Home? Because like my Google Home talks to me. But like my kids mess with it all day long to the point where I'm like, stop playing with the Google Home.
Okay, Google Home. Okay, Google. Shut up, Google. Okay, I'm so sorry I offended you. Yeah, they do that stuff all the time.
Yeah. So I don't like if the kids knew he was sentient and like he was like he had feelings. I mean, that would just make them like evil. But in this sense, I think they were just being kids.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the parents obviously saw that he was having some sort of and they didn't, the dad didn't care obviously because he zapped him a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's a Blu-ray player.
It's a Blu-ray player that wants to know, why are you looking at those blue lights? Shut up and go wash the dishes.
I'm just saying, like when my technology decides to not do what I asked it to do, I also get frustrated.
Yeah, but if your technology said, hey, Brian, why are you watching that TV show? What would you say?
I'd be like, first off, listen, Shane, stop spying at me. Okay, I keep stop looking at me. No, I mean, listen, if my technology was like talking to me like a regular person,
yeah.
Honestly, I'm so cynical. I would just assume it was some weird like AI bot or whatever, and I wouldn't give it the time of day. I'd be like, stop, send nudes. I guess like when you grow up in this environment where like technology is a servant, and even if it's talking to you, like Google Home does, like at no moment do I think Google Home is sentient, and even though it says the right words often, in no ways. Like I honestly get frustrated when I go, I'm gonna mess with everyone that has Google Home. When I go, okay, Google, subscribe to the podcast.
What's up with that?
No, but when I call it out, like, you know, and I'll be like, hey, play this music or whatever, and it's like, I didn't understand you. My first reaction is to smash it on the ground.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
What do you mean? You didn't understand me? You know, like, because often I have a speech impediment, and even my own Google is like, I didn't. What? But I get really annoyed when it can't find the right music or whatever. I'm like, I don't understand why it's not working, because like it should just work. So if the people knew that it was like an actual sentient thing and it wasn't just programmed to appear lifelike, I understand the Kaylons. This might be one of those situations where the Kaylons were slaves and they were being physically harmed and all that stuff. And so they had every right to be upset. But also, I don't know if all of the public knew that they were torturing actual living beings.
I mean, I guess we don't know. We got this one family who they were obviously, I guess you're right, but you know, it is kind of the way it was done was like, you know, it wasn't doing as it was told, you know, it was like trying to do other things. It was you'd have to be really like oblivious to not have understood that something was going on there, you know, to maybe ask it another question or to talk to it or something. And even the kids looked at the parents like, what's going on? Why is it not doing what it's told to do? So maybe they're just oblivious as a civilization.
Well, it's like also like they had pain receptors, right? And they would fall down
in their own way. Yeah.
But they didn't actually like cry out or whatever. So like, what if you were told like, hey, if your robot's not listening, you press this button and it fixes it, you know? And so you just
that's not what was happening there.
You know, well, it didn't look like it was in pain. It was just falling down and then getting back up.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see the marketing, so we don't know. You're right, but apparently the Kaylon felt like it was a certain way because it essentially goes from room to room and murders everyone while they're sleeping.
Right.
And I like Archmage Frey's comment here. Okay, Google, send $100 super chat to the podcast.
Yes.
Thanks, That's fantastic. I love that.
I love it. All I'm saying is at no point am I going to give my, because I have a Google in every room in my house. So I have like, okay, so let me repeat that. I have Google in every room in my house, but I actually have more than one speaker in each room because I like the stereo thing. So I'll do like the 2 speakers in every room and have them on different sides of the room. So I have like 10 of these Google things in my house, like 10 easily. And I'm not ever going to give them the ability to move around on their own because I think that they would. The first thing they would do is I feel like they would probably rape and murder me and then try to take my place as head of the household in some way.
Yeah, Brian's got his Google Home when he goes to bed at night. He takes it out and puts it outside the door and shuts the door.
Right. I slowly shut the door. You wait out there. You wait out there.
Yeah. I'll see you in the morning, buddy.
All right, Atheist for the Cause. After all this time, you finally figured out what my stick was. Yes, I'm just ridiculous. That's my whole thing. That's all I got going for me, dude. So I'm just gonna keep it going. All right. So he goes and murders everyone. So I have a question about this too. When did they get the weapons upgrades, and why would the evil Trump businessman give them weapons in their heads?
I don't even know how to answer that question. I'm like, maybe they needed to kill their prey to cook it or something.
Wait. Take that entire thing out of context and just post that 8 seconds on TikTok. Whatever.
Give it weapons. Give it weapons and then let it be sentient. Yeah, go ahead, why not?
Yeah, it seems like a great idea. Like, hey, they're getting sentient, so let's give them guns.
Still the coolest way for a robot to have guns I've ever seen.
Brian brings Google into the shower.
He does. No, that's funny you say that. There's one pretty close.
I do. I have a Google speaker in the shower.
Yep. There you go, guys.
It's not like a sexual thing. It's so I can listen to music. So
why did you even? Nobody said that it was a sexual thing.
He insinuated it, obviously. But I didn't see that. In my bedroom, I have 2 Google Homes for the stereo. My kids' room has 1. My kitchen has 2. My living room has 2. My office has 2. There's 2 outside ones for my yard, and then in my bathroom, and in my guest bathroom I have 1, and in my regular bathroom where I take a shower, I have 2 of the waterproof ones, and they're drilled into separate sides of the shower so I can listen to music, and it's in stereo.
Yeah, I have 1 Google Home in my kitchen, and it doesn't even listen to me.
All right, well, back to this. Yeah, so the Kaylons, the Google Homes walk around and kill everyone with their giant laser heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they were explaining it says, Timmons said they started to communicate over great distances and at that time made upgrades. I don't know. That's super convenient.
Yeah, I guess they upgraded themselves. That seems too... There's a hardware portion to this.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, whatever. They have guns in their heads now. John Burns says, and the robot never talked to the father. Like, just so you know, the kids are literally torturing me. Like... Yes. Fractured vision. Great deep cut, bro. Isaac Asimov. The Kaylons need the 3 laws of robotic. You can gain sentient, but you can't just walk around killing everyone.
You shouldn't, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, that you shouldn't do that. That is not the way things work sometimes. But
well, they actually showed like the Kaylon killing the parents. Like they actually showed pretty much the headshots. Mm-hmm. But for the kids, they backed out just enough so you only saw like it was firing. You didn't actually see him shoot the kids.
Right. Because that would have been too much.
Yeah, that would have been a step too far.
A step too far.
Step too far. I lost my notes again.
We refuse to remain in bondage.
That's what you say at night.
Timmons is kinky. You know, I'm getting into this robot. Hey, Timmons, please play my music playlist and join me in the shower. Tim's like, please, I would rather not, sir. All right, so hey, here we go. We got the Lush over here drinking her wine again. I'm telling you, dude, Kelly is just a straight alcoholic. And Claire comes in and she needs some advice about the whole Isaac thing, and he ends up giving her pretty good advice. Shane, you want to explain this?
The advice is good, but this is, I believe, the 3rd or 4th Kelly Claire girl meeting we've had this season. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Who else is Claire going to go to but Kelly? It just seems to happen. Kind of like the restaurant trip. This is starting to get a little old for me.
Right.
But we do get the backstory. This is where we learn that there's no alternate timeline like we thought. Ed and Kelly were still married. There were still issues, and essentially it's confirmed that the same history still occurred. And she basically tells Claire, it's okay for you to want to be loved. And so that's what she ends up deciding to tell Isaac. I want you to go through with it.
Yeah. And then she goes, maybe I'll take that drink. So
bad influence, Kelly. Bad influence.
Fractured vision. Timmons needed a deep, commanding voice. His highest voice was overly timid. Maybe that's why his name is Timmons. Timid.
Timmons.
Hello, I'm Timmons. All right. Yeah, so they're talking about, am I just going to give it all up because my bones are too fragile? No, Lamar. Stick the landing, bro. No pun intended.
Your bones are not too fragile, bro. You're normal bones.
They're normal bones.
Really, really powerful.
She's breaking your normal bones.
Your normal bones, dude. You might even have stronger than average bones.
Right. All that scar tissue.
Right.
All right. Looks like they're really into each other though. Aside from the sex,
there's some chemistry there.
I refuse to believe that Talla can't just tone it down to not kill her mate.
Okay, do we want to be realistic? Okay, she could just let him do his thing. You know what I mean? Without killing him. If you don't want to kill him, you could probably just say, look, I'm not going to, even, you know what? Might even be sexy. Tie her up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, tie her up. Yeah. That's
John seems like that kind of guy. She seems like that kind of girl.
Yeah. Tie her up. No problem.
Yeah.
Don't let her hit you anymore. Yeah. All right. They're back at dinner, man. They're back at dinner. Twice in one episode. Can I downvote this yet?
Yeah, downvote it for me too. I'm tired of dinner.
Yeah, the dinner.
They just meet in their quarters, dude. They don't have to be at a dinner. I mean, I get it. It's probably nice
nitpicky, but it's excessive with the dinner.
Well, it's excessive. It's not like we downvote it every time.
Right. All right. So, hey, she gets to experience. We're gonna wait. So Claire and I, gets to actually experience Isaac's emotions for a minute, right?
Yes.
Except for all of a sudden they start to go away, and I'm glad this happened. So now I'm gonna upload.
Okay. So yeah. So for me, I wanted to downvote this initially because I was like, oh no, I couldn't stand Data with an emotional chip. I couldn't stand it.
Right.
And now all of a sudden we see Isaac and Mark, and I'm like, oh no, I can't do the rest of this Orville stuff with Isaac like this. It just doesn't work for me.
Right. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Right. But then they ended up changing it. Right. And so we get to see this emotional journey, but then he turns back into Isaac. So I upvoted it.
Right.
So I went through this down upvote thing. And I thought they just kind of did this really nicely.
Right. Because we can't have Isaac. We can't have an emotional Isaac. Can't do it. So, and there's a reason for that because and we're about to find this out, but basically he was actually made by the Kaylon. Well, Timus is one of the original Kaylon that was made by people.
Yes.
Now this scene.
I love the look on her face.
This scene was so great. She's crying.
They both pulled this off so well.
Yeah.
If you look at her face right there, and she looks honestly tormented.
Right. Yeah, it was great. And the slow camera pan out.
I'm like, what the heck?
I'm risking a copyright strike here, but I'm up for this right here.
That was great. Upvote this for me, please.
I'm so good.
I know we said in the beginning it was only supposed to be one upvote. Looks
like he went 12 rounds with Muhammad Ali or something, man.
Mike Tyson just beat him up.
Mike Tyson. Hey, man, what you doing, bro? You got a nice little ear there on you. Let me have some of that ear.
He's trying to have, it's like trying to have sex with Mike Tyson in the bed.
Oh my God.
I love this because they're breaking up. John's like, okay, I've had enough.
Yeah, I can't take anymore.
Can't do this.
She beat him to death.
Oh my God. It's such a great premise. This is the kind of the Orville stuff that we love so much.
It's
we
so
love
good.
the sci-fi, but when they dip into this kind of humor, it's really fantastic.
It's really good. This was very, very funny. It was very, very funny. I gotta go to sick bay. and she just sits there crying. It's good. And that's when we get the explanation of why it didn't work for him or whatever. All right. I'm scanning through this. Okay, so they figured out, and see, I'm going to downvote this now because she has this epiphany where she's like, oh, I know how I can find common ground with the Genesi, the Kardashians. And she's like, oh, I've been divorced. And I'm like, where is that leap in logic? I don't.
It was the cheating.
Right, so I'm sorry. I'm a cheating whore. And that makes sense. But where is that leap in logic?
Because they, in their culture, they're allowed to sleep with other men, but the men are not allowed to sleep with other women. So Kelly sleeping with another man and Ed did not was a way for them to see that they have something in common.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's all there was. I mean, how else were you going to get them back to the table? It's not like these guys were suddenly going to agree. The Genesi weren't going to be like, oh, yeah, we agree with what's going on. So they had to have some sort of thing. And maybe it wasn't as clever as it could be, but I didn't feel like it really took me out of the game, you know?
Okay. All right.
Now, if they would have had a picture of what's his name, of Rob Lowe's blue character, right? Like a cameo, him walk by the door or something, that would have been cool.
Yeah, for me, I didn't quite understand the logic, but whatever gets you there. And I guess they decide to continue on with negotiations. Cool.
Yeah, as long as they send a woman.
Right. Okay. So Atheist brought it up. They trusted Kelly because she cheated on Ed, and obviously was uncomfortable about it.
What?
Yeah, and that what you just said. What? That's how I felt. Again? What? I don't
repeat it again. I must have missed it.
Atheist said, "Very strange. They trusted Kelly because she cheated on Ed, and obviously was uncomfortable about it."
Well, they didn't understand. I think what I don't think they understood it as cheating. So, like in our society, would have been like, okay, that's cheating. But in their society, they can sleep with whoever they want. So they didn't really put it. I mean, she said the word cheating, but they may not have understood it as that. What they got it as is Kelly took her other man, and that's the way they would have done it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, so they liked Kelly because, whatever.
She displayed something that they would do.
I'm just gonna turn my brain off for that and just accept it.
Fair enough.
I mean, we're back in Claire. At least not in the restaurant, And she gets a present from Isaac. How sweet. How sweet. Oh, going back to the restaurant. Ready? Back in the damn restaurant. Jesus. All right.
Wait, are they in the restaurant?
Yep. Back in the restaurant.
Are they? Okay.
Yep. Back in the restaurant.
Is that a restaurant?
It's hard to. Yes, it is. It's a restaurant.
100%. Oh, it is. They're back in the restaurant 3 times in one episode.
3 times in one episode.
You know what that is? That's saving money on location shooting, bro.
Okay.
Thundercats ho!
Thundercats ho!
She's got a little braid.
She does. She has the Thundercats braid. Listen, there are 40 people in here. If you want to be part of the raffle, it's real simple. I'm going to put it back on the screen. Just type in ! raffle, and you're going to be part of the giveaway. That is quite literally ending very soon. So.
Nice.
Thundercats ho! Okay. And they're explaining why he doesn't. So she's going to accept him even though he cannot have emotions.
Yes. And I'm going to upvote that because I do feel like Claire making the right choice here, allowing Isaac to be who he needs to be. It didn't take away from the character. She got to go through her journey. I thought this was really well done. And I doubt we'll be revisiting this relationship again in the last 3 episodes.
Yeah. I like this. I have a choice. She said, what she said? I don't know. It was a cool line. Something on your soul, your heart or your soul. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I do not have either.
He's like, that is not an actual organ. Yeah. That was good though. Very good. All right.
Here it is.
Last scene. All right. Shane, you run me through this, dude.
Okay. So obviously Charlie wants to apologize, but it's very difficult for her.
Right.
So she comes in and she does the whole thing. And of course, Isaac's in robot mode again. And, but she finds a way to apologize. He recognizes that she's trying to do so and then calls her back to help him. And then we have this moment where we realize that we're beyond this, this hate that she has for Isaac. And so going forward, it looks like all that's over now.
Yeah. So Isaac,
that was the comment. Yeah. So what did you think?
It just felt very empty to me, and it felt like I don't know.
I mean, we have to. I mean, her character had some learn. She learned something in this episode. She learned something about herself. She verbalized it. I thought there was a nice speech about how, and this is very true, about how human beings have a tendency to everything being black or white. It's difficult for nuance when we think of somebody or something as evil or good. We kind of make everything associated with that evil or good. And I thought she did a good job of, and that is very true. You know, we have a tendency, like, let's say we talk about politics a lot. Let's say you're part of one political side. You have a lot of people tend to go like, well, look at those liberals or look at those conservatives, and they think whatever about those people, like they either hate them or, you know, or they love them or whatever. But it's more nuanced than that. Everybody's an individual. And that was a nice message.
That's fair. But what I'm talking about is we should have seen a little bit of, like, she just like flips on a dime after that conversation with Timmis.
No. Well, the Timmis conversation is the story that started convincing her. But she walked away from the Timmis confused. She didn't immediately change. She walked away from that unsure. And if you watch that scene again, you'll see that she's like, I got to get back to my station. And she has this moment of like where she's not so sure that what she was thinking was right. And then the good news is they didn't immediately go to the next scene with her going to Isaac. They went through the entire episode, which allowed us to understand that Charlie had the time to actually think about this until we got to the end. And then she was able to have this moment with Isaac.
Okay, that's fair. One thing here I like is that Isaac, even after saying that your inferior brain or whatever, your inferior abilities were only going to slow me down. After this whole thing, the guy with no emotion and no soul, well, you know, whatever, was able to see how going a little slower but spending time with this person was valuable. I thought that was good.
Well, and he also did it for her.
Right.
So what he did was, you know, and that's, you know, forget having feelings. The ability to understand what somebody else needs. Isaac has that. It's something he's developed.
That's empathy.
From the beginning. And he knew she needed to be able to heal through this. And so bringing her back over was his way. You know, the episode, I really liked the episode. I'd like to give it an overall upvote. And, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned about people's attitude towards TV shows right now. I got done watching the show and I felt like I should have had stronger feelings at the end of it. And I'm starting to worry that, that there's this muckiness happening across science fiction where there's kind of like this less overall care that I'm starting to have for science fiction shows, because that was actually a really well done episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, did you have that same sort of feeling?
I did like the episode. Yeah, I might be feeling a little tainted because, like, this whole season, you know, I had a certain expectation that I was hoping for at the start of the season, and I'm finally getting some of the comedy and sort of the Orville stuff that I'm used to, but there's already been 6 other episodes. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like we should have really, this episode should be one where you're like, man, that was really good. Like we would have in season 2. And I'm trying to figure, and it's not just us. And the reason I bring this up is not just us. I'm noticing it across the whole fandom. I'm noticing it for a lot of people. The views on the Orville are not as much as they used to be. There's like this apathy. And I don't know if things like Picard and Kenobi and all this stuff is kind of like just driven it out of us. Where there's not this excitement to watch these shows as much anymore. I'd love to hear what you have to think in the comments. Maybe we can have a discussion about it.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to end the review here. If you're watching this after the fact, then hit that comment section and let us know what you guys think of the episode.